Sierra Whiskey 007.
Bonjour, hello, and welcome to MaxMountainWorld. Welcome to the Radio Shack. I experienced a little audio problem. Now, both my radios, I get audio reports back without even asking for them, because normally the audio sounds that good apparently. That's the problem. You get a problem with your transmitted audio, you're the last person that can hear what's going on with it. So I was just doing stuff, a fairly busy day doing other stuff. I think I had about 3 or 4 contacts through the day, and it was about the third one where someone turned around and said, "Oh, your audio is clipping, it's not sounding good." And they started offering options, you know, like turning around and saying, "Oh, you're overpowering," and stuff like that. When you get an audio problem, there's a process of elimination. First one, a process to eliminate what's happening outside in the antenna. Basically check your SWR. Now in bad weather, especially with huge rainstorms that we've been having here in the last few days, you'll get a slight change in your SWR. Just by the amount of water that's kicking about, impedances change a little bit, this, that, the next thing. And your SWR, sometimes it'll drop a little in a rainstorm, sometimes it'll go up a little, sometimes it'll stay the same. Whatever. Mine stays more or less the same. I can detect some kind of difference, I think. It's that small. So anyway, I got this report through and I think, oh no, what have I done? So I've eliminated external, aerial and coax, and final connection. And I'm looking into it, and the first thing to do is process of elimination. Again, what did I do recently? What did I change recently? Now, that could be anything. And I went through, I even looked up 2 videos that I did, one on the FD450D and one on the microphone, the MD100 that's sitting up in the air behind me. And just to see and make sure that I had the original settings that I'd set up. It was desperation to a degree. And I'll show you what it was. It was a pretty simple, easy to miss problem. Here we go, I'll explain what it was. So on the radio, checked all the things, went into the main menu, checked out my RF power, checked out all my the mic gain setting, checked out the mic equalizer setting, everything like that, and I couldn't find any problem with that. Same with the microphone, the MD100 microphone. I couldn't find anything different with that. I checked everything, as I say, off my own video to see that I still had these settings right for the switches underneath, and everything was okay. I couldn't figure it out. I went for another radio check and no, it was awful. So what was wrong? Now, it was only happening when I had this running, and we all know what that is. And I found that the problem was the microphone. I have it set up, everyone has them set up differently according to your shack, according to your voice, according to how you address a microphone, according to how loud you want to speak or shout at your box or whatever. There's a load of factors. So I checked all that, I checked everything, checked my connections, and I still couldn't find out what was wrong. Now this bad boy here is kept cool by this, which is a huge fan on top, and usually when I'm running it, that stops the thing from getting too hot. I can plug it into the side of my laptop there, and you can see by the blue light that it's running, and it does a fantastic job of keeping it cool, as it were, or keeping it not hot, because these things do run hot anyway. They generate a lot of heat, especially when it's a lot of power. So what next? Okay, so I checked a few more things and checked out a lot more things. Went for another audio check. No, it's not sounding great. It's sounding great when you're on lower power sort of thing. So immediately I started focusing on this bad boy. But no, it wasn't that. So what I did was, after that, I got out a piece of equipment that I use for tuning, and that is my Marshall headphones, which I plugged into the little box, the 891, the big little box, and I turned off the IPO, I turned on the attenuator, and I disconnected the aerial from the back, which you can see is still disconnected. The moment the 891 sits there and is just connected to a Moxon wire that I've got out on the terrace. Now, that was just so that I could power up and I could listen to myself on the headphones and tune it all up. And right enough, I was getting a problem with my transmitted audio, but only when it was kind of rattling up at a high wattage, as it were. Much confusion. I really tried all sorts of stuff. I was at this for hours, and I was getting another report, and they were saying no, it's not that great on the top end and stuff like that. And the solution was absolutely remarkably simple to this. I found it by accident. I just looked at this, sat back for a while and thought, I wonder if that's it. It's actually staring you in the face right now. And what I found was that this fan on top of here, which does a fantastic job, €5 out of a second-hand shop in Gap, in our city, along the road. And what I found was that I have it sitting very close. You can see if I just put it at an angle, very close to the radio itself. And what had happened was that I had moved something, or something had moved, and this had actually gone and was, you can see it's now sitting on top of the radio. So what was happening was, this makes virtually no noise. I can make it make a noise if I want, but there's a little upraised bit there where you can make sure that the grill is away off the fan. But it still makes some noise. And when it was sitting just on top of the radio there, it was causing itself and the radio to act as a speaker that was kind of causing this hum and eventual feedback through the sound system, which is controlled here. And this was what was happening. So I moved the two apart, again, as I had them originally installed, so that there wasn't any physical contact in there. Went for an audio check. You're sounding brilliant, Max. So technical and a logical approach to solving minor or potentially major technical issues. Don't miss the obvious. It's not obvious, but don't miss the little stuff. Have a look around, see what's changed, backtrack, see what you've done in the last little while before you started getting this bad report stuff. And there you go. That's what happened. So not always your technical issues are things that are massive, that are going, oh no, something's broken, something's burnt out, something. Not always. It can be something simple. So keep an open mind when you're fault finding, as it were. Anyway, just a quick video on that one. Luckily and happily, I'm back to full audio again on both the radios. I don't know what was happening there. There wasn't a problem with the 891. I didn't check it. I didn't need to. The problem was based on the other radio. So why complicate it by going through other radio and stuff? That was it. Anyway, just a quickie on that one. Bit of fault finding, bit of audio problem solution finding, and all that stuff. So anyway, until the next video, thanks very, very much for watching. Keep subscribing, and ciao. hola, hola, audio, audio. This all seems to be working quite well. Just testing at my center point of my lowest SWR.